Hi there, I'm Alvin Fritz. I'm the architect for Heritage Heights, South Country Village's newest project that's being prepared for South Country Village. Just for those of you who aren't aware, and I'm realizing many people that will view this DVD will be aware of the location. However, there will be a few that may not know, but we're right across from the Medicine Hat Airport here on Viscount Avenue and Bell Street. That's where South Country Village is located. And just to give you a little bit of a heads up already, and I'll get into more detail, the actual location is at the end of the two garden apartments buildings, and so it gives you a sense of where this will be located. The Heritage Village is going to be attached to a comprehensive care facility. We have everything from Sunnyside, where we have nursing home facilities. We have an Alzheimer's wing with a courtyard center. We have a lodge-type environment. So you can come here and age in place. And part of the concept is to create a housing opportunity where perhaps your spouse is becoming infirm, or you can recognize that you are becoming infirm, and it would be a good opportunity for you to have a condominium, a place to live. And even if this is years down the road, just that opportunity of having an ability to tie into the existing facility will be wonderful. That way, as one of you requires more and more care, you can still live near to your spouse, take meals together, and be a part of their lifestyle. So here we have a bit of a detail then. You see the Viscount Avenue, you see the proposed location for the facility, and at present, Garden Apartments, the second block, is the only one that is not physically connected with the balance of the building by an interior corridor. The Garden Apartments at this location actually ties in, and you can get over to the dining facility. And this project now, when it is in its completion, once we've done the second phase, will actually allow for everyone within the facility to connect over to central dining. And that's a huge advantage. And so here again, you see an aerial photograph and where it will occur. Now, one of the things that has had to happen as a consolidation of land, we had commercial designation and public service, and so this has now been amalgamated to accommodate our project. It was straddling that property line, and so we have seen the land consolidated under PS, and that PS zoning now will also accommodate apartment buildings. Here's an aerial photograph of the site, and you can see the location at the end of the Garden Apartments here, where in fact the project will occur. Here's a photograph of the site. We're going to try to sustain some of this natural tree environment. We do have to reduce it a little bit as some of the trees are too close to the building, but we will be able to retain some of them, and of course we will be augmenting them to give that back. And then we see as well the garden plots. Now the garden plots and the parking will all be east of these trees, but they will still be accommodated. You see the two ends of the Garden Apartments where we will be tying in. One thing you'll notice on this photograph is a grade change, and there's exactly 1 story of height grade change, and you'll see how that is incorporated into the building design. This then one of the ends of the Garden Apartments that shows how it ties in. This is where the courtyard environment will be, and again we will have additional images for you that demonstrates how this will best tie in at that location. In the past, we have already done some expansion at South Country Village, as you're aware. We have added second stories on, and for the existing garden apartment buildings, we plan to do something similar. We're actually going to build above the existing roof and add another story on. This soldier brick here gives you an idea of where that roof line once was. There's a fair amount of space here. There's an interstitial space that had to do with the existing roof slopes, and so you get a sense of how that second story will go on, and we will be doing that. And of course, there are other amenities at South Country Village, the Werfel Auditorium. We also have the Garden Estates, which is a life lease environment where people actually are living in condominium living and still attached and a part of the facility. So Garden Estates here, the Werfel Auditorium entrance that we just saw, and that second story that had been applied over a portion of Haven of Rest. Here you see the courtyard environment, and we plan to do something very attractive with the courtyard that will be between these structures to make it a beautiful place to be. I'd like to talk briefly now about the underground parkade. The parkade will rise up with the grade. We will have an area of higher headroom, which I'll show you on the section, where we can put some of our mechanical equipment and so forth, but it gives you a good idea of how the parking will lay out, and we will have enough parking underground for all of the suites that are going to be incorporated into Heritage Village. So here you see a section. We have virtually no ramp at the end of the building. It's going to be almost level access coming into the parkade, and then you can see here how the parkade rises up towards the northern end of the project. There's enough headroom here, and then you can see that we're going to be able to accommodate some mechanical units and so forth there. The point of tie-in to the existing apartments on this level for the apartment building closest to the south end of the site, and then at the northern end we plan to tie in at this location up one floor. So here you now see on the main floor, of course, we have parking that rises up into that region, and then we have a central entrance and an amenity area. Now this is very similar to the entrance that we have at the Haven, and it's the new entrance that was created there just a few years back. You'll notice an open staircase. That is just actually still an added advantage. A fireplace lounge, a elevator, a small mail room, an office, a theater, and a general meeting area. And then the suites. And we've given them tree names, of course, just in keeping with the arbor setting and all of the trees that we have, and then how we tie into the existing facility. We've added an elevator at that location just so that nobody is ever constrained during move-ins and so forth from getting to where they need to go. When we go up one more story now we see the second floor of the garden apartments at the higher elevation and how it will tie in. We see some Phase 2 suites. So here we see the central amenity zone. We have an upper office sort of library environment that also has an internet cafe, so people can be emailing their grandchildren and so forth. We have a meeting room, an exercise facility overlooking our beautiful courtyard garden, billiards and games area with shuffleboard and so forth. Then again, the suites that repeat themselves in another elevator. Now we're up on the third floor, and again, Phase 2 suites. And in the future, we plan to show, of course, the suites that would be at point of tie-in. And then we have also now got suites above the amenity core, which is additional to the suites that we have on a typical floor. And then the fourth floor repeats the third floor. Now, one of the things that we have introduced was a balcony that allows for views to the Cypress Hills at the end of the staircase here, and that is a publicly accessible balcony. Of course, the views are the highest and best to the Cypress Hills, and so it was thought to just have a small sitting area there so all of the residents could have advantage of it. This now is details of the amenity core, and I've gone through those with you. I would like to give you a quick photograph of some of these spaces from facilities that we have designed in the past to give you an orientation as to the quality of finishes and so forth. Of course, the underground parkade, beautiful place to put your vehicle in the inclement weather. All the snow can melt off of your car while you're in your suite and be leaving from there. It's a very nice feeling. That open staircase from the lower level entrance amenity area up to the mezzanine games area and environment. We are going to have a mail room, and that mail room, of course, provides for a mailbox, mail service for each of the residents within the facility. A theater setting so that movies and so forth can be enjoyed by all. Then we have a multi-purpose room. Now on the second floor, of course, we have a games area, a fitness area, the library sitting lounge, and the internet access. So the library environment nicely appointed with good shelving and so forth, the internet so that you can email the grandchildren, a sitting area, and of course the exercise facility that will be available within the amenities as well. Then we have the games area. You see the billiards tables and so forth that will be accommodated, and a dining area that will also be multi-purpose as well.